Hi, I'm Caroline and welcome to our movement snack. So today we're going to begin by standing. If you're near a chair, you may find that useful at some point. And we're going to have our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So you can feel like I've got quite a stable stance here. And there's a softness in the knees. So we haven't locked our knees. They're really nice, soft and bent. To begin with, we're going to softly reach up with our left hand. So if you have any tightness in the shoulders, just keep the arm quite low. Otherwise, we're reaching up and just begin by making some spirals through the wrists, really spreading the fingers, creating space across the palm between the fingers. Maybe you reach a little higher, maybe you reach over a little as well. And then we're going to slowly make our way down, sort of on a diagonal here, reaching, spiraling the arm. If there's any pain, obviously, please do stop, come back to standing. Just finding a little bit of space, stretching out the left-hand side of the body. If you come back up, maybe you reach behind you a little as well. There's no wrong or right way of doing this, just feeling a bit of a stretch, like you're creating a bit of space down the left-hand side of the body. And allowing the hand to come back down. And then we'll move on to the right-hand side. So raising the arm, always having a bend in the elbows. We're not locking the elbows. And then I'm starting spiraling the hand, spreading the fingers. Maybe reaching over a little more. Almost bringing spirals all to the whole of the arm, all the way to the shoulder. Maybe you reach over a little bit of a diagonal at the front of the body. So more of an exploration here, just feeling like you're getting a bit of a stretch anywhere and everywhere down the right-hand side of the body. As you bring the arm down, maybe you take it a little behind you. And allowing the hand to come back down to center. We'll bring some shoulder rolls to the body. So quite exaggerated shoulder rolls. We're bringing the shoulders all the way up to the ears, all the way back. It's almost like we're trying to get our shoulder blades together, all the way down, and then forward. So we're trying to bring our shoulder blades or pull our shoulder blades apart. So a few like this. You may want to start to bring the arms into the movement as well. And then in the opposite direction. And releasing the hands back down to the sides of the body. I'm just going to turn side on. We're going to take the hands behind us. So you can either maybe hold an opposite wrist or maybe you clasp the hands. And then we're reaching away and away and a little downwards towards the floor. So what we're trying to do here is create a bit of a stretch in the upper body. Keeping the gaze ahead so we're not straining the neck. It might be a very small movement. It might be quite a strong movement. Trying not to lock the elbows. So if you can have a softness in the elbows, like a mini bend, that's really helpful. It's just really supporting the joints. And slowly releasing the arms. If you've been using your hands quite a lot, whether that's typing on a laptop or computer, or you've been writing, I'm going to encourage you to take a moment to massage the hands. So just using a thumb, applying some pressure through the palm of the hand, and then giving each finger a little tug. Can feel really nice. And moving on to the other hand. A little bit of a wiggle. And the final movement I wanted to work through is a forward fold. So we're going to just bring some space and a bit of stretch to the legs. You may want to use a chair, you may not. So I'm going to have the feet, again, hip distance or a little bit wider, whatever feels good for you. And I've got a softness in the knees. And I have my hands on my hips. And what we want to try and do is fold from the hips rather than the waist. So what I find it helpful is as I fold forward, it's a bit like the heart is leading the movement, or maybe even the chin without sticking it out too much. So bringing the hands to the hips and we're folding forwards, folding forwards. Now, the stronger the bend in the knees, the gentler, hopefully, it's going to feel in the back of the legs. You may get to somewhere like here, that's enough, and you can bring your hands to a chair or maybe even to a wall or a desk, and that might be enough for you. You may find you're able to come a little bit further. It can feel quite nice to rest your head on a desk, or if you're doing this in a kitchen, sometimes I do this with my head on a work surface. It feels really nice on the kitchen top. So finding wherever works for you. If you are able to come into a full forward fold, always making sure you have a softness in the knees. The knees are slightly bent. And encouraging the shoulders away from the ears. So wherever you are, whichever position you're in, we want to try and keep the shoulders drawing down away from the ears. So there's space in the neck, tucking the chin. So the chin just tucking a little bit towards the chest. Making sure the knees haven't collapsed in or out. So whether it's exercise like running and cycling or actually just sitting for long periods of time, the legs can get very tight, the back of the legs. They're really good for our physical health, but also our mental health, to bring some stretching to the body. Slowly bending into the knees as you come up to standing, taking your time. And releasing the shoulders. And I'll show you a slightly different version of that. Again, this can be done with a slightly higher, like kitchen surface or by the wall. I'm going to use the chair here. You may be able to come to a desk, hands on the chair or desk, and this time we're stepping a little bit further back. Softness in the elbows, and this time we're bringing a little bit more space to the back of the body as well. So it's like our forward fold. We've come into it, leading with the heart, shoulders moving away from the ears. And you can see there's a bit more space in the upper body in this version of it. Keeping that micro bend or that softness around the knees. And then to come out wherever you are, gently walking the feet forwards. Slowly bringing the head and the shoulders back up to center. So just taking a few minutes for a movement stack. If the body gets quite tight as we sit for long periods of time, or maybe even just exercise, then it's a little bit harder for us to breathe, but it's also a little bit harder for the body to relax. So just stretching the body out and creating a little bit of space hopefully brings a sense of softness and lightness to the body.